Now, before we get started with the reports, I want to give a shout out to Mechanical Warhorse. I'm starting with my Saturday and Sunday games. They gave me a bunch of templates and different tokens and markers to use for the games. These are all incredible. Hopefully, you should be seeing a lot of them being used in my games for Saturday and Sunday. Unfortunately, I didn't have them for the Friday night games, but they were a sponsor for Brawler Bash, and they were fantastic. I highly recommend them to everybody out there. Hey guys, before we start, I plan to do this, and I was going to do a Brawler Bash wrap up video, but I wasn't able to. I've had a lot of things going on. Um, but I was going to, in that video, I was going to thank Malorian for teaming up with me in the doubles tournament, and he gave me this real neat um, picture here from his channel. And I just wanted to thank Malorian for the picture and thank him for teaming up with me. And I had a lot of fun, and if he can come back next year, maybe we can go for the title again. I also want to say the rumors are true. Buttstan's been working out all year. He's going to be coming back to Grail Quest this year. That's what I'm going to be practicing for in these games. But he's made some changes. He's been working out, uh, lifting weights. He's learned to fly to start with, and he's got a chainsaw on his shooter. I don't know about this. Also making changes. Going to be Duke of Orc. He's coming back. He's going to be a rock pile now. So I'm doing some expansion work on his base. All the Vault Hunters here are going to be here fighting against Duke of Orc now. But he's going to have some help. And I really think that Copter is going to be the difference in me winning this tournament. So with all that in mind, let's get to the game. I'm going to be having a couple of practice games here. This is going to be for Grail Quest. It's coming up in November. Uh, Grail Quest is going to be a lot different this year. I mean, we used Swedish Comp last year, but it wasn't banded. And this time it's going to be banded where you have to be between a 10 and a 16. You can be over 16, but your comp will be taken down to a 16. So that means there's no rounding, so you have to be exactly a 10. You can't be like a 9.9 and round up to a 10. And also there's going to work it into the games where you get a bonus to your victory points compared to your comp score. So like for this game right here, I'm 13.5, my opponent's 10.1. I would start with a 340 victory point lead. So that's a big deal. So now let's take a look at the army I'm testing out, and with it in mind that um, there's composition strict, and you get that victory point difference. Was trying my best to get something more than 12 or at least a 13 because I wanted to have trolls, but they cost so much in your comp that I'm gonna try out regular Savage Orcs. And like last year, you can take Storm of Magic things. And this time they boosted up to 350. So I could have took 10 trolls from Storm of Magic, but then I could have took Duke of Orc and Bloodstone and everything, and it almost seemed like it was almost be cheating to take the trolls from there. So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try not to do that. I mean, I might change my mind. Who knows what's gonna happen? But I want to have Duke. I want to have Bud so I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna throw in a Ragnarok to have more monsters. And like I said before, Bud he's been working out, so he's gonna have his friends with him. They're gonna be 5 harpies. That's what they're gonna be. And so with all this, my comp score is gonna be a 13.5. And I do like that I was able to get my Savage Horde. I was level 3 instead of level 4. Still get some 2 Rock Lobbers and a Doom Diver and still be a 13.5. So it didn't work out that bad, and I'm hoping the next compact will help Orcs out a little bit more. Now, my opponent in this practice game is going to be playing Vampire Counts, and he's going to be a 10.1. Well, one thing I'm going to notice when I'm looking at his list, I don't think he realized that we're playing 2,500 points, and your Storm of Magic stuff comes from that 2,500 points. It's not 2,500 points plus Storm of Magic because his army list is about 2,500 points, and then he's taking things from Storm of Magic. So he's actually going to have over 2,800 points with the things when you add it all together. He made one little error here with his thing, so he had a Varg Terrorgeist at like 220 and it's really 215, so he's gonna be a little bit over 2,500 in his normal list. But then he's gonna have the Storm Magic thing on top of that, so this is probably gonna help him because not in this game. I'm saying he's a 10.1, so if he starts taking things away from his list to keep that Storm Magic stuff, it'll boost his comp score. So he probably shouldn't be a 10.1, depending on what he'll have to take out in the future. But from Storm of Magic, he's taking the Spine Beast with all he strikes first and 6 white lines of Thrace, just regular lines. So that's over 300 points of things from Storm of Magic. So that's going to make him be well over 2,800 points. So when we start taking a look at my opponent, I was thinking a little bit about trying to hang back a little bit, try to shoot him a little bit before he comes to me. But he doesn't have any like big units, so he just got really the Terrorgeist, and he's gonna have his characters by themselves. So that's my target: try to wear them down before he gets to me. There's no need for me to try to rush up because he's way faster than me because he's got 3 flying characters on Hellsteeds. So I'm gonna try to hang him back a little bit. Hopefully, anyway. Also, I've got my Butt Stallion Boys in a perfect position for his Hex Race because they have magical attacks, and hopefully they can take those out, and then I don't have to worry about them holding me back any. Here's the rest of my deployment. I'd already started Vanguarding, so that's why my big bosses up here like this. And I just got my Ragnarok on this side, and it's gonna be opposite his Spine Beast, centered with my giant unit of Savage Orc Biggins. I'm feeling pretty good about my deployment. So for his army, he's testing it out. He hasn't bought a lot of models yet because his main army isn't vampire counts; it's ogres. So a lot of this stuff's gonna be proxied. If you see on the upper left, those dogs are really the white lines. The trolls are the Vargeists, and he has a wolf in each one of the dog units, and one of those is the Doom Wolf. I can't remember now. He told me during the game. The blank gray base there is the Spine Beast. Over here is the rest of his deployment, and there's the 2 Vargulfs there with a Hex Race next to him, and he has just 3 characters all there. I don't know. I guess maybe vampires can't join Hex Race units. I don't know. I figured they would just to try to get out Sir early on. And then the other blank base there is the Terrorgeist, and then he has more wolves here. So he hasn't spent all the money on buying these models because he wants to test this out. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't. This is like hundreds of dollars he'd have to spend, to get all this stuff. So I don't blame him for testing it out first. So basically, for the Vanguards, I decided only to Vanguard that big boss, and not my wolves because I figure he's so much faster than me. There's no need for me to Vanguard up. He has no war machines. There's nothing really I can pick off other than his dogs, and I'd rather be able to charge his dogs if I can get the first turn. So I don't Vanguard anything other than that big boss, and I just put him behind the wall. I guess we figured that walls aren't mystical, or obstacles aren't mystical terrain, so this was definitely a wall. So if I'm behind the wall, he'd be -1 to hit me. And of course, he Vanguards up a lot because he needs to come to me. He doesn't have the shooting or the offensive magic, other than I think he does have a Purple Sun to really make me want to come to him. Okay, so I win roll for first turn, and already here I'm gonna have some charges because he's just too close and tempting. I charge this chariot and his dogs, and I was hoping I could overrun to the Vargeist, but there's really no way I could get into an angle there and still have maximized to be able to get to them. I was hoping I could overrun into that, but I'm not going to be able to. I don't move these wolves here, the other side here at all, because those are white lines, and when I realized that they have 2 strength 5 attacks each, I don't want no part of them. I'm going to let them stay back and have to take a long time to come to me. And here you can see where I make the huge mistake where I did not read the rules for the rock pile correctly in my mind. I thought I tested for animosity for him, and if he failed, he would be forced to charge, and if he couldn't charge an enemy unit, then he'd be forced to charge a friendly unit. But his rule is he always has to charge if he can, and he only takes animosity if he can't charge something. So I completely misdeployed him. I didn't have anything in front of him. So he's forced to charge these wolves that are right in front of him right off the bat, and that wasn't something I was expecting. And of course, I charged them a harpy, bloodstained harpies here at the hex race to get them out of the way. And my wolves up here are gonna they're just gonna fail animosity, and they're gonna be forced to charge. So already orcs are a little bit uh, screwy here with their rolls, and I'm being much more aggressive than I really was planning to. So after the combat on this top side of the table, obviously the chariot is able to go in there and take out those wolves. And my overrun, I wasn't able to really get to those var guys. I don't mind this too much because the chariot's only 50 points, and he has two frenzy units that have to test whether they want to charge this chariot or not. And if they do charge, I would rather them be charging this chariot way on that side of the table than on my side of the table. And you can also see the rock pile. It's just funny. Between impact hits and my regular attacks, I do 0 wounds to those dogs. But my thunderstomp, since you can thunderstomp war beasts, it kills 3 of them. So I could pop them because of the thunderstomp, and when I did no wounds at all with my regular attacks and impact hits. So this spot side of the table, this is basically where my shooting and magic went into. I shot both rock lobas at the Terrorgeist. One got a direct hit, and I rolled a 1 to wound. I got a direct hit with my Doom Diver on his general, and I did 4 hits, 3 wounds, and he made all his wards. So I did nothing to his maybe I did 1 wound to his Terrorgeist. Maybe I rolled 1 wound. I think I wounded the Terrorgeist and I did 1 wound to it. I didn't roll a 1 to wound, but I did nothing to his general. And for magic, I tried to put a foot of Gork there where it was touching his BSB, his general, and the Terrorgeist, and he just scrolled it. And the other combat here, the Harpies wipe out the Hex race even though they lose 2 of their guys. And my wolves go in there and I win, but I think only by 1, so I think he still has 2 or 3 dogs left up there. So now his first turn, he makes a massive amount of movements here on this side. And this is basically what I was a little bit afraid of. He's so much faster than me that he was going to be stacked up here and come around my flank. That's why I was trying not to be aggressive. He charges his general into my wolves, and I probably wouldn't have done that because he wants a general. I probably want his general to be more aggressive. But I mean, my wolves are going to die, of course. But and he's got his Terrorgeist up here. The pump wagon was kind of Terrorgeist bait because I'd rather him destroy that pump wagon than come out my war machines very early on. And he's charging his Vargulf here into the Harpies, and so the Harpies are pretty much toast. But it does leave him up to a counter charge with my regular savages against his Vargulf on my turn. And with the rest of the board, he's going to charge the Vargeist at my chariot. So that just means they're going to have to overrun right to the stop at the side of the Spine Beast. And now it's a point where the Spine Beast and the Ragnarok they both need a 9 to charge each other because they both have Swift Stride, both movement 7. So we're going to have to charge or be charged or move backwards. And he moves his goals up a bit. I think he moves one of the goals. They're directly facing the rock pile. He moves them back, and the other goals, I think, they just stay where they are. So after the combat's on this side, he of course wiped out my chariot with his Vargeist. His dogs who had charged the wall at my big boss, they do no wounds to me. I do 1 wound to him, so it's gonna be a push. We have 1-to-1 tie. Over here, my wolf bars get wiped out by his general. He screams off my pump wagon. He wipes out the Harpies, and in magic, he just got rerolls on his general. And I let that go because my wolves are going to die anyway, and I really think he gets no other magic other than that. So my turn 2, I passed that poison frenzy test, so that my general's unit doesn't have to charge those dogs right in front of it, so I can reform. So I'm remembering now I need to have them not only facing them because there's so many threats coming this way, but so to have Foot of Gork where it can go up against those vampires. I remember last turn, I could only see one of the vampires with the arc of my general, and he had scrolled it because they could still scatter it onto his other characters, but I needed to be able to see them all. Now my savages go ahead and charge his Vargulf. And here's the thing, the rock pile, he's forced to charge. I needed a 10, and I rolled like 2 6s and a 5. So he just shoots across the table into those goals. I really think it's the Death Copter. The Death Copter there is what's doing it. But on the other hand, the Ragnarok was trying to charge the Spine Beast, and it's gonna fail. Now this side, in shooting, my Doom Diver again is gonna get a direct hit on his general, and I'm able to get 2 wounds through his ward save. So close to getting him off the table, but I'll take it. I'll take the 2 wounds. Um, so I want you to see this picture of 3/6s. What's happened here? Uh, Basically, he does 3 wounds to me with his Var guys. I have a 6-up ward. I roll 3/6s. So he's only going to get 1 kill on me from Thunderstomp. I'm going to win by 4. It'll be 3 because of his battle standard. So he's going to take 3 wounds. I'm not able to pop him, but I was rolling 6s like crazy for ward saves. And during this game, I'm going to roll double 1s for leadership 4 times. It's going to be unbelievable. Between fear test and break test, things like that, 4 1s. 4 times I roll double 1s. Also up here, look at the Duke of Orc. He comes in. He does 12 wounds. I have 13 with the charge. They do no wounds back to me. He only has 1 rank, so I'm going to win by 12. I'm going to pop the goals completely. With only 3 attacks, it's terrifying. But he can really only attack infantry. Because he can't thunderstomp. Other things he can't thunderstomp, but he only has 3 attacks, so he's very scary to use. But if he can attack regular infantry like ghouls and things like that, between impact hits, a thunderstomp, regular attacks, he can really tear things up. Now we go to his turn 2. The White Lions are going to charge the wolves. I couldn't really flee because I was at the table edge, and I wanted them to be on that side of the table, and not coming up to me. So I'm okay with that. His Spine Beast is going to make the charge on my Ragnarok, and I don't know. I feel like over the long haul, maybe the Ragnarok should win that, but it is going to be a little bit nerve-wracking. The big boss is still fighting those wolves. And now he's going to charge his Vargeist into the rock pile. And at first I was real happy because his Vargeist, when they forced overrun, were facing away from me. But now they're in a perfect position to charge my rock pile. And that's going to be a bit scary. So also over here, his General and the second Vargolf are going to charge into my Savages. So now my Savages are in serious trouble. His level 2 Vampire is going to fly over here in front of my Goblins, and the Terrorgeist is going to fly over here, so he can try to start screaming at this rock lava. So I'm starting to get closed in on a bit, and that's what I was a little bit worried about, but I still think I'm in a good position because I'm mostly castled up here. Only really my rock pile has been going off on his own adventure, and sort of the Savages, but it's a situation where I'm like fighting people on that side of the table and not fighting everything at once on my side of the table. So this is what I was talking about, my break test here. I'm roll double 1s. I was steadfast anyway, but that's the way it was going for me. I'd roll double 1s at least 4 times in this game. I do kill his Vargolf that was wounded already, so that was good. And he doesn't combat reform, and I'm not really sure if he could, because I think he might have taken himself out of combat with my champion. But so that means that my troll can get corner to corner on him. And so over here, also I want to note that he screamed at my rock lava and was not able to do any wounds to it because I think he rolled double 1s, and it equaled the leadership that I had. So that wasn't good for him. And we go into the combats here. Then his like all the good rolls I was making, he was making terrible rolls on his end. He does a 7 attacks against my Ragnarok and does not get a single hit. And he can't reroll because my initiative's higher than him. I only do 1 wound back to him, so that's going to make that a push. And the Goblins still going to be fighting the Wolves. They're just staying on a push. Up here at the Vargeist or whatever, he'll do 1 wound to me, I'll do 1 wound to him. He's going to win by 1, and I'm going to pass my stubborn test. So Orc turn 3, charge my troll on in. That was like a no-brainer. Just because I need to do 1 wound to him, I'll just vomit. Hopefully he'll fail his ward test. Then of course my goblins before that, they're gonna feel animosity and charge that vampire sitting right in front of them. And I'd wanted my savages to charge in there. I still probably could have done. I still could have angled away with the savage could have charged in, but I don't do it. I decide I'd rather not worry about it and because if I because I then I'd definitely be killing that vampire. Then I'd be forced to overrun, and I'd be setting my flank to his Vargolf and his other vampires. So I decided just not to do that and just charge the goblins. And even though I'm figuring that means the goblins are toast. And again, this is the kind of ward saves I was making on a 6-up ward save. I mean, who even needs a shrunken head? Between his Blender Lord here and that Vargolf, he kills 2 savages. Um, that's just the way I was making the ward saves. Over here, we're duking it out here between the Spine Beast and the Ragnarok. I think it's a push again. I think we did 3 wounds to each other. I'm finally going to wipe out these wolves. My big boss been fighting all game. His Vargeist's going to do a couple more wounds to me. I don't think I do any wounds to him at all, but I'm going to make my stubborn check. And my shooting and everything and magic was going against his BSB, and I do nothing to it. And now this is the bigger moment, the biggest moment in the game, because I only show you the beginning of the combat. This is the end of the combat. After the Vargolf has done his thunderstorms and everything, I had vomited on his general. No, I hit him. You know, it's an automatic hit. I wound him. No armor saves. He fails his ward. Oh, so the troll kills the vampire lord. I mean, the troll's not in combat. My savage is going to pass their steadfast check, but then he starts crumbling. His level 2 is going to crumble away. His BSB is going to be fine. He's going to lose a Vargeist. He's going to lose his single direwolf. Lose a bunch of goals. It's bad for him. And he was thinking about going ahead and conceding now, but I asked him to do it for the battle report. Could he play another turn or two? And he agrees to do it. So that's at the end of the bottom of his turn. You can see he really starts cleaning things up. So he's able to get a lot of points here because he takes out my savages finally. Because he charged his BSB in there as well. His Vargeist, and then they kill my rock pile. So that's all dead. His Spine Beast is going to break my Ragnarok. And Ragnarok's down to its last wound. The Ragnarok's going to get away though. So at least that's something. So he's started picking up a lot of points here. And so like in the regular tournament, which is 20-0, instead of it being a 20-0 if you concede, he could start picking up some points. Now my turn forward, this is very interesting. Alright, the goblins are going to fend on my stick again, and they're going to roll 6 this time. Now the rules say that I have to pivot towards the closest enemy I can see, and make a full move toward it. Okay, the closest thing I could see was his BSB. I couldn't see his Vargolf. So I had to pivot towards the BSB, and then move towards it 4 inches. But then it says if I can charge, I'm forced to charge the nearest visible enemy. I can see the Vargolf now, so now I'm forced to charge the Vargolf. So I'm going to be charging the Vargolf on the flank, which I couldn't even see the Vargolf at the beginning of the turn. So that was a very interesting the way that works out. And I figure I'll go ahead and charge my savages at the Vargolf as well. Hopefully I can bust through and get to that BSB. Otherwise, I'm going to rally my Ragnarok. And I rally that even though my general's shot across the table and I'm on a 6. I'm actually going to be able to rally that Ragnarok on a 6. In my shooting now, I'm going to get a direct hit on the Terrorgeist, do 3 wounds to it. So hopefully that'll help out for its screaming later on. I think during its last turn, I think it had finally screamed off my rock lava. Yeah, and you can see here, it did scream off my rock lava, but it moved up here now to later on try to scream off my Doom Diver. I moved my big boss all the way around him past the march test so I can start blocking these white lines. Try to slow him down. And my turn, I've got 1 wound left of my Ragnarok. He's got 1 wound as well, so this is going to be a close fight whenever it happens. And yeah, my Doom Diver here had shot his white lines and killed 3 of them, so that's why he's down to just 3 guys out of the 6. Because my Wolf Riders, they got wiped out when they fought him earlier on, before they can even strike back. And over here, I got an There We Go off on my savages. The Vargolf, at first, it does a wound to my general, and Then I kill the Vargolf, I pop it, and I overrun, but I'm not able to overrun enough to get to his BSB. And this is his turn 4, and I'm showing this Fisher. He charged his Spine Beast at my Ragnarok, and in combat, this is what he rolled to hit. He didn't not get a single hit on my Ragnarok. My Ragnarok's going to attack. My Ragnarok was down to 1 wound, so you could have killed it. I'm gonna strike back, and I'm gonna kill his Spine Beast. That's the way things were going for him. He just could not get any rolls to go his way. And so I'll reform my Ragnarok to face his Terrorgeist, which is behind me. The White Lions are charged my big boss, and they're going to kill that big boss before he can strike. Actually, I think we struck at the same time, maybe. Or I think, no, he struck first, and he just killed me first. He's just going to fly his BSB over here to get out of the way. And so this is in the turn 5. He has said on turn 5 this is going to have to be his last turn, as he had somewhere he said to be. So on my turn 5, I charge his Terrorgeist. My Ragnarok does no wounds to it, but my goblins, I think my goblins did a wound to it. And I'm going to flank in a charge. He's going to fail to charge the last wound on me, so I'm going to be able to pop the Terrorgeist. And since we were not going to play turn 6, I don't try to overrun off the table, because otherwise he could have had easy rear charges to my Ragnarok. On his turn 6, he charges White Lions at my Rock Lob, not my Rock Lob, yeah, my Rock Lob, and destroys it. Also on my turn 6, I try to put a Foot of Gork on him. I got Irresistible. It does nothing, and I do another wound to my General, and I wound my BSB, so he's going to get half points for the BSB and my General because of that. But that's basically going to be the end of the game, the way it looks now. So when this is all added up, it's going to be a pretty big 15-5 victory for the Orcs. And you remember, I had a 340 point victory point bonus added on top to the difference. So that boosts me up. Normally it would have been a 13-7, but that boost it made me a 15-5. I don't know what the difference would have been if he had, the regular list and not had those extra points. Likelihood his comp score would have been higher, but he would have had less things on the table. Like, he would have had to give up something. Like, maybe not have the level 2 vampire, or maybe not have the Terrorgeist or something that was there that I was getting points for because I killed a lot in this game, but he was also getting points for. So I don't know how it would turn out within. So, the way it was a 15-5, which I think was really good. I like most of my list. The Savages perform really well for being regular Savages. I still wish I could have Trolls, but they're just comp hit so much, and I just feel bad about taking them from Stormy Mask. I really want to take the Duke of Orc and Butt Stallion so much. Butt Stallion did die again. He's never lived through a game. Sooner or later, he's going to live through a game. That chainsaw is going to come in handy sooner or later. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I have another game I'll be putting up soon. Thank you for listening. Feel free to subscribe, and hopefully you can comment. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Take it easy.